Hey guys, it is August the 3rd, 2020, and I know I did one this morning, but I'm going to do another one tonight. Hurricane Isaias has been creating some rain here, so you may hear the rain in the background, a few showers here and there. But overall, I think the coast is going to be fine. So today I have a big list of things that I was just thinking about. Things today just really get on my nerves, and I just want to vent a little bit. So the name of this one's called Have You Ever Noticed? Have you ever noticed? So here we go. And I may look down to read because I can't remember all 20 of these things or 30 of these things. So have you ever noticed that last year approximately 500 children in the U.S. died from the flu, and this year 86 have died from the coronavirus? Yet we do nothing about the flu deaths. We take no precautions other than keep your kid at home or take them to the doctor and give them some medicine. But with corona, we don't even want to reopen the schools. Teachers are scared to go back. Each year, did you ever notice that each year 700 children drown, but only 86 have died from COVID once again? But we don't give kids swim lessons at school when we could actually save almost 10 times more lives if we offered them swim lessons. You ever notice that putting kids back in school would actually decrease the amount of child death? Because there wouldn't be as many drownings and traffic fatalities. You ever notice how I'm required to wear a seatbelt by law, and now I'm required to wear a mask to go into most places because my seatbelt only protects me, but my mask supposedly protects others, but they're wearing a mask as well. I should get to choose on both those situations. You ever notice how the laws are not out to protect others, they're out to protect me? And I'm not allowed to be given the choice, but yet they want women to have the choice on killing a baby, but yet I have to wear a seatbelt or wear a mask. You ever notice how there are no seatbelts on school buses? You ever notice how protests are okay without a mask? You can protest with as many people as you want, but you can't assemble with more than 50 people. You can't go to church. You can't do outdoor sports without a mask. You can't go to restaurants without a mask. You can't go to stores without a mask. But you can protest without one in as big a group as you want to. You ever notice, I'll move this over so I can read. You ever notice how life starts at conception, yet 345,672 babies were aborted last year, mostly black, but BLM hasn't said one word about the abortion rate. Less than 10 unarmed black people have died in the last year by police brutality, police ending their life. But 345,000, of which about 80%, so around 250 to 270,000 black babies, and BLM won't say a word. You ever notice how Tim Tebow kneeled to thank God occasionally during games, but if you don't kneel now, you're considered a racist or a bigot or a supremacist? True story. You ever notice how lazy our generation has become and would rather have $600 a week unemployment and stimulus package than to go to work? You ever notice how everyone jumps the gun on a police death to an unarmed person without reviewing all the evidence? That includes the mainstream media. You ever notice how police deaths are rarely mentioned by the national media? That's sad. You ever notice how child trafficking is off the charts, but we let media fill our timeline and feed us stories about politics, COVID virus, and race relations constantly, yet child trafficking continues to skyrocket. You ever notice how many countries eliminated face masks and their numbers are near zero for COVID deaths? You ever notice if you are white, you cannot be proud of your culture without being labeled something negative? In other words, if I have pride in my whiteness, I'm given a negative label because I'm proud to be white. But every other race is okay. You ever notice how Trump said that hydrochloroquine will help way back in March, and no one believed him? Now doctors are saying it, and they're not being believed either. That's the government and media taking over. You ever notice how Democratic-run cities are being left for crap with homelessness, defunding police, gun violence, etc., etc.? You ever notice that after one Trump conspiracy is smushed, another is immediately escalated within a matter of days, if not right after the fact? You ever notice that experts in other fields, aka Bill Gates, are suddenly medical experts now? You ever notice how an expression on a street, such as Black Lives Matter, is allowed, but for other groups, they're like All Lives Matter or Babies Lives Matter for abortion clinics are not allowed? You ever notice how situations like COVID only create a larger government and larger government oversight? I'm a big small government believer. Ever notice how other religions' leaders can condone slavery, but BLM will not attack them? You ever notice how small businesses are getting destroyed right now while big can't read my writing. Big ones are making immense profits with fewer rules. Corporate takeover. The hand who feeds. You ever notice how the NBA cannot talk crap about China and China's human rights violations because they know who feeds the NBA, and that's China? You ever notice how the greatest economic recovery in a 6-month span on Wall Street, and the news never mentions it? The Wall Street gained 7,800 points over the last 6 months. Largest economic gain ever. Probably didn't hear about it. You ever notice that if Obama was treated the same way that Trump is, that civil war would have already happened? Promise you that. You ever notice that black conservatives are labeled Uncle Toms and other names, but you cannot call black liberals anything without being labeled something for calling them that? And lastly, have you ever noticed that Trump is at 51% approval rating, 7 points greater than Obama was during the same time of his presidency? Trump 2020. Yeah.